When the James Webb Space Telescope was launched into the silent void of space, humanity held its collective breath. It wasn't just a telescope, it was a time machine, a cosmic mirror pointed backward into the ancient depths of existence itself. For decades, scientists dreamed of seeing the first flickers of light that followed the Big Bang, the birth of galaxies, the ignition of stars, the early architecture of everything that would one day become us. But when Webb opened its golden eyes and began to send home its first data, it didn't simply show us the beginning. It revealed something that shouldn't exist at all, something older, something beyond the boundaries of everything we thought we understood. The story begins with expectation. The Big Bang Theory had given scientists a roadmap of cosmic evolution, a timeline describing how matter cooled, how gravity shaped gas into stars, and how stars gathered into galaxies. According to that timeline, the first galaxies shouldn't appear until about 300 to 500 million years after the Big Bang. Before that time, the universe was a swirling haze of hydrogen and helium, too hot and too dense for light to travel freely. It was called the Cosmic Dark Age, an epoch before illumination. When Webb was launched, astronomers expected to pierce through that darkness just enough to glimpse those earliest galaxies, still fragile, still forming. But then came the shock. In July 2022, when Webb released its first deep field image, the universe changed. Buried within that single frame, a mosaic of thousands of galaxies, were objects so ancient, so fully formed, that they seemed to predate the era they were supposed to exist in. Some galaxies appeared to be over 1 billion years old, even though the light from them should only have taken a few 100 million years to travel to us. Their stars were already mature, their structures were already organized. It was as if the universe had built masterpieces before it even had the materials to sculpt them. This wasn't a small error, it was a cosmic contradiction. Every model of physics, every simulation of early galaxy formation, every established theory of cosmological evolution, all of it was suddenly incomplete. These galaxies, now called impossible galaxies, were too big, too bright, and too old to fit within our current understanding of the cosmos. Webb's instruments, designed to detect infrared light, the ancient light stretched by the universe's expansion, confirmed their age and distance with stunning precision. The redshift data didn't lie. These galaxies existed at times when the universe was supposed to be just beginning to cool. Yet they looked as if they had already gone through entire cycles of star birth and death. That meant heavy elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, had already been created by previous generations of stars, but those elements shouldn't exist so early. So the question arose, how could galaxies that old exist in a universe that, by all known measurements, was only just beginning? Could it be that the Big Bang wasn't the true beginning, but merely a transformation, a rebirth from something even older? For the scientific community, Webb's discovery felt like standing on the edge of a vast abyss. What if the light it captured wasn't just revealing the earliest galaxies of our universe, but the last echoes of a universe that came before? Some theoretical physicists began revisiting ancient ideas, concepts that had been dismissed for decades. One of these was the cyclic universe model, which suggests that our cosmos expands, collapses, and is reborn in endless succession. In this theory, the Big Bang wasn't a beginning, it was a bounce, a transition from a previous universe collapsing into another expansion. If that were true, then perhaps Webb's telescope was seeing light not from the first stars of this universe, but from the dying embers of the previous one. Others propose the quantum multiverse hypothesis, that what we call the Big Bang was not a unique event, but one of countless bursts of creation across a vast cosmic landscape. In this scenario, some regions of existence might be older than others. Time itself may not be universal but local, a property that changes from one universe to another. If so, Webb might have glimpsed light from neighboring universes, flickering through the thin veil that separates one reality from the next. Of course, not every scientist was ready to embrace such radical ideas. Many argued for caution, suggesting more mundane explanations, perhaps errors in data calibration or unknown processes that make young galaxies appear older than they are. Maybe these galaxies formed more efficiently than we imagined, or perhaps dark matter played a more powerful role in shaping them quickly. Yet even with those possibilities, a quiet unease spread through the scientific world. The James Webb Telescope had forced us to admit that our cosmic map was incomplete. To understand the scale of this discovery, imagine standing at the shore of a vast ocean, believing you finally found the edge of the world, only to see the fog lift and reveal endless water beyond. That's what Webb did. It lifted the fog on the early universe, and instead of finding a beginning, it found depth, an ancient complexity that refuses to fit inside our equations. And this is not just about data. It's about what that data means. If galaxies older than the Big Bang exist, then time as we know it might not have a starting line, space might not have a single birth. The laws of physics might be part of a larger, more intricate tapestry, one that stretches beyond what our minds can easily comprehend. Think about that for a moment. Everything humanity has ever known has been framed by the idea of beginnings and endings, life and death, creation and destruction, dawn and dusk. But what if the universe doesn't obey those rules? What if creation isn't something that happens once, but something that happens forever, everywhere, all at once? When the first scientists saw Webb's data, they weren't just looking at numbers and graphs. They were staring at the possibility that the universe itself might be far older, far stranger, and far more eternal than we ever dared to believe. One researcher described the feeling as standing in the ruins of an old theory and realizing you're still inside a cathedral. Every photon of light captured by Webb has traveled across time unimaginable. Billions of years of cosmic history compressed into a flicker of information. Each pixel of its images carries stories older than our species, older than our planet, maybe even older than the very concept of beginning. As we decode those ancient signals, we are forced to confront questions that stretch the limits of science and philosophy alike. If the Big Bang wasn't the true beginning, what came before it? And if something came before, does that mean the universe is eternal? Could energy, consciousness, and existence itself be part of an infinite cycle of renewal, never starting, never ending, only transforming? The James Webb Space Telescope has not merely discovered galaxies, it has discovered mystery. It has reminded us that even at the peak of our technological power, we are still children staring into the night, trying to understand where we came from. But perhaps that is the true beauty of this moment. The Webb telescope isn't just teaching us about the cosmos, it's teaching us humility. It's teaching us that no matter how advanced we become, the universe will always have more to say. And sometimes those messages come from places so ancient, so far beyond time, that they seem to whisper from before existence itself. In the end, whether Webb's discovery proves that something existed before the Big Bang, or simply that our understanding of cosmic evolution is flawed, one truth stands clear: it has expanded the horizon of human wonder. It has shown us that there are still mysteries greater than our imagination, and that the universe is not finished revealing its secrets. So when we look up at the night sky now, we are not just seeing stars. We are seeing possibilities ancient, infinite, and waiting to be understood. The James Webb Space Telescope has done more than detect light. It has illuminated the question that defines all others: what if the universe never truly began? And in seeking that answer, we might discover not only the age of the cosmos, but the timelessness of existence itself. For nearly a century, the Big Bang theory has stood as the cornerstone of modern cosmology, the grand narrative explaining how everything we know came into existence. According to it, our universe began as an unimaginably small, dense, and hot singularity that expanded 13.8 billion years ago. From that singular flash of creation came the very fabric of space and time. The galaxies, stars, and even the atoms that make up our bodies all trace their origins to that explosive beginning. For generations, this theory was seen as untouchable, a cosmic truth written into the equations of physics. But now, the James Webb Space Telescope has raised a question that echoes through the halls of science and philosophy alike. What if the Big Bang wasn't the beginning after all? The idea of the Big Bang brought comfort and clarity to our understanding of the cosmos. It gave humanity a definitive origin story. Before it, we had only myths and philosophies about creation. After it, we had physics measurable, testable, and logical. The cosmic microwave background radiation, discovered in 1965, was considered the afterglow of that birth, the faint heat signature of the universe's infancy. It was the ultimate proof that the Big Bang had happened. Everything seemed settled. Then came the James Webb Telescope. Its purpose was simple yet revolutionary: to look deeper into space and thus further back in time than any instrument before it. By observing the faint infrared light from the earliest galaxies, Webb would help us see how the universe looked when it was only a few 100 million years old. But what it found broke the very timeline we built our understanding upon. In the depths of its first deep field images, Webb captured galaxies that appeared too large, too bright, and too developed to exist so soon after the Big Bang. According to established models, it should have taken billions of years for galaxies like these to form. Yet there they were, existing when the universe was supposedly still in its infancy. These weren't faint, chaotic clouds of gas. They were organized structures with mature stars, heavy elements, and even early spiral formations. It was as if someone opened a history book about the universe and found entire chapters written before page 1. To scientists, this was more than a surprise. It was a riddle that struck at the heart of cosmology. If these galaxies truly existed earlier than theory allows, then the Big Bang model itself might be incomplete. Perhaps the Big Bang wasn't the beginning of everything, but just one event in a much larger, more complex story. Imagine for a moment that our universe is like a single bubble in a vast ocean of creation. The Big Bang, then, would represent the birth of our particular bubble, not the origin of the entire sea. Some physicists have suggested that what we perceive as the Big Bang might be the result of energy or matter transitioning from another dimension or even another universe. Others propose that the universe could go through infinite cycles, expanding, contracting, and being reborn in an endless rhythm of creation and collapse. In this cyclic model, the Big Bang is not a beginning, but a bridge, a transformation from a previous existence into our current one. Such ideas may sound poetic or even fantastical, but they are rooted in legitimate scientific theories. Physicists like Roger Penrose have developed mathematical models suggesting that the universe could be eternal, with each Big Bang representing a new phase of cosmic evolution. These theories propose that before our current expansion, there may have been another universe, a different cosmic era that eventually faded into uniformity, giving rise to the conditions that sparked our own. If this is true, then Webb's discovery of seemingly too old galaxies could be the first observational evidence that something existed before our universe began, remnants of an ancient cosmic era, lingering in the background of space and time. The implications of this idea are staggering. If the Big Bang wasn't the beginning, then what was? Did time itself exist before it? Was there a before at all? Could there have been civilizations, matter, or even consciousness in a previous universe, carried forward in ways we can't yet detect? The answers to these questions are hidden in the faintest traces of light that Webb now captures. Each image it sends back is a window, not just into space, but into the history of existence itself. And through those windows, we may be seeing something astonishing, evidence that the universe's story doesn't start where we thought it did. Some scientists caution against jumping to conclusions. They argue that Webb's findings might be the result of unknown astrophysical processes, perhaps galaxies formed much faster than we expected, or maybe dark matter played an unexpected role in early cosmic development. Others suggest that our methods of measuring cosmic distances might still contain hidden biases. But even if those explanations prove true, one fact remains unshaken. The Big Bang theory, once thought to be absolute, now stands on uncertain ground. This uncertainty, however, is not a failure of science, it is its greatest strength. Science evolves when confronted with mystery. Every time humanity believes it has reached the end of understanding, the universe presents another horizon, another question, another challenge. The Big Bang was once that horizon, a profound yet incomplete map of reality, and now, thanks to Webb, we're beginning to see that the map may only cover a small corner of the infinite. There's a philosophical beauty in this. For generations, the Big Bang gave us a sense of origin, of meaning. It answered the oldest question, where did we come from? But perhaps the universe is now asking us a deeper question, why must there be a beginning at all? The idea of a beginning is comforting because it gives us structure. Beginnings imply purpose, a cause, a sequence, a story. But nature doesn't always obey the rules of human comfort. The universe may not need a beginning. It may simply be timeless, cyclical, ever-renewing. Think of a forest. Each tree grows, dies, and returns to the soil, giving rise to new life. The forest as a whole has no single beginning, no single and only continuous transformation. Perhaps the universe is the same. The Big Bang could be like one tree sprouting from the soil of a previous cosmic cycle, born from the remnants of what came before, destined to collapse and nourish the next. And if this is true, then the light Webb is capturing isn't just ancient light, it's memory. It's the echo of existence remembering itself, crossing billions of years to whisper, I was here before the beginning. For humanity, this revelation changes everything. Our place in the cosmos is no longer defined by a single moment of creation, but by an eternal process of becoming. We are not the result of one miraculous explosion, but the current expression of an infinite rhythm that has always been. Webb's discovery doesn't destroy the Big Bang theory, it expands it. It forces us to see the Big Bang not as the beginning of time, but as a chapter in an unending cosmic story. It pushes us to think beyond the comfort of linearity, to embrace a vision of reality that is infinite, evolving, and profoundly mysterious. And maybe, just maybe, that's what the universe has been trying to tell us all along. When you gaze at the night sky, you are looking into a tapestry woven not from a single thread of time, but from countless layers of existence. The stars you see are not just remnants of one creation. They may be the rebirths of many. The light traveling toward us might have shone in countless universes before finally finding our eyes. So when we say the Big Bang, perhaps we should no longer think of it as the start of everything, but as the start of this everything. There may have been others before, and there may be others after. The universe may breathe, expand, and renew itself in ways our current physics can't yet describe. The James Webb Telescope has given us the first tangible hints of this possibility. By looking deeper than ever before, it has forced us to look inward, to confront our limited understanding of beginnings and to question our need for them. If the Big Bang was not the first moment, then perhaps there was never truly a first moment at all. And in that realization lies something profoundly liberating. The understanding that existence is not a single act of creation, but an eternal dance of light and darkness, of birth and transformation, stretching beyond the edges of time. So yes, the Big Bang remains a magnificent theory, one that transformed our understanding of the cosmos. But now, in the age of the James Webb Space Telescope, it may become something even greater, not the story of the beginning, but the story of one beginning among infinite others. And if that's true, then perhaps the question is no longer how did everything begin, but rather, how long has everything been? Maybe the universe has always been here, breathing, cycling, remembering. And in that endless expanse, we are not witnesses of the beginning, but participants in eternity itself. When the James Webb Space Telescope first opened its golden mirrors to the deep universe, it wasn't just searching for beauty, it was searching for truth. The mission was to peer beyond the known, to trace light from the first galaxies that flickered into being after the Big Bang, but what it found might be something far greater and far older. Webb's images have begun to whisper of an impossible reality, that there might be traces of something that existed before our universe was born. This idea that there could be evidence of a pre-Big Bang universe challenges everything we've ever believed about existence. It suggests that our cosmos, vast and ancient as it seems, may not be the ultimate beginning. It may only be one frame in an infinite film, one heartbeat in a cycle that has been pulsing forever. To understand this possibility, we must first imagine what Webb truly sees. Its infrared sensors detect light that has traveled billions of years to reach us, light so old that it began its journey long before Earth, the Sun, or even our galaxy existed. This light carries the fingerprints of time itself, the chemical composition of stars, the structure of galaxies, and the redshift that tells us how fast they are moving away as the universe expands. But Webb's observations revealed something astonishing. Some galaxies appeared too mature, too structured, and too chemically evolved to fit into our model of cosmic history. According to the Big Bang theory, it should take hundreds of millions of years for hydrogen and helium to condense into stars, for those stars to fuse heavier elements, and for galaxies to form. Yet Webb saw galaxies that already had carbon, oxygen, and iron elements that require generations of stars to create. If these galaxies are truly as old as they appear, then their light is not just from the dawn of our universe, it could be the echo of something that came before it. The concept of a pre-Big Bang universe isn't new, but Webb's discoveries have breathed new life into it. Some of the most daring physicists, Roger Penrose among them, have long proposed the idea of conformal cyclic cosmology, which suggests that the universe operates in endless cycles. In this model, when a universe expands to a state of complete entropy, when all matter decays and all black holes evaporate, it becomes smooth and empty, a sea of uniform energy. That energy then gives rise to the next Big Bang, beginning a new cosmic era. According to Penrose, traces of the previous universe could be imprinted in our own, faint and subtle, like fingerprints left behind on the surface of time. He even theorized that circular patterns found in the cosmic microwave background could be such evidence, the aftershocks of collisions between black holes in the universe that came before ours. If that's true, then Webb's observations might be capturing something even grander. Not just galaxies from the early universe, but remnants of the previous one. It's a breathtaking thought that the telescope could be seeing across cycles of existence, across universes stacked like pages in an eternal book. Other theories echo this idea from different directions. The ekpyrotic model, inspired by string theory, suggests that our universe was born when two higher dimensional branes collided, massive, invisible sheets of energy existing in a higher dimension. Each collision would trigger a new Big Bang, creating a fresh universe each time. The energy patterns Webb is now detecting, the unexpected density of ancient matter, could, some suggest, be the scars of such a collision. Even more radical is the idea that time itself did not begin with the Big Bang, but that it stretches infinitely in both directions, that our beginning was just a point of transition where one phase of reality flowed into another. In this view, the Big Bang wasn't creation, it was transformation. But how could evidence of a pre-Big Bang universe survive in ours? The answer may lie in the faintest forms of light, in the residual radiation, gravitational waves, or energy fields that bridge one cosmic cycle to the next. Some scientists propose that dark energy, the mysterious force driving the universe's accelerated expansion, might actually be the lingering echo of a previous universe's death. Dark energy makes up roughly 68% of our universe, yet we know almost nothing about it. It behaves like a pressure that stretches space itself, and its nature remains one of the greatest mysteries in physics. If it truly is a remnant from a prior cosmos, then Webb's mission to understand early galaxy formation could one day uncover its ancient origin, the whisper of a universe that collapsed long before ours began. The implications of this are almost spiritual in their depth. If universes can die and be reborn, then creation is not a single act, it's a rhythm. Every beginning is born from an ending, and every ending gives birth to a new beginning. The cosmos becomes not a linear story, but a circle, an infinite heartbeat of light and darkness, expansion and silence. Such a model doesn't just challenge our understanding of physics, it redefines existence itself. It suggests that reality is eternal not in the static sense, but in perpetual motion. The atoms that form our bodies could be the recycled matter of universes long dead, and the light that warms our world could be ancient energy reborn from a cosmos that once existed billions of eons ago. And Webb's discoveries give this vision a tangible edge. When scientists study its deep field images, they are not just analyzing points of light. They are tracing the history of existence back towards something that may never truly end. If some of those lights turn out to predate what we call the beginning, then the Big Bang itself becomes a doorway, not a wall, a transition from one cosmic age to another. Still, the scientific community remains cautious. Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. It's possible, some argue, that these impossibly old galaxies are not what they seem, that gravitational lensing, due to misinterpretation, or unknown physics may have made them appear older than they are. But even if that turns out to be the case, Webb's findings have opened the door to questions humanity has never before been ready to ask. What does it mean if time is eternal? If there was no first cause, no beginning, only transformation, then the universe is not something that was made, it is something that is. We are part of that infinite isness consciousness experiencing itself across endless forms and cycles. This thought resonates not just with science, but with ancient philosophy. Across cultures and ages, mystics and thinkers have described creation as cyclical, from the Hindu idea of cosmic cycles called kalpas, to the Stoic concept of eternal recurrence. The James Webb Telescope, with its cutting-edge instruments and modern physics, may now be revealing in day what sages once spoke in metaphor, that reality renews itself endlessly. It is humbling to imagine that the telescope, orbiting 1,000,000 miles from Earth, might be glimpsing the fingerprints of universes that came before. Each photon it captures carries information from billions of years past, yet if the cosmos truly cycles, then that light might also carry the memory of infinite worlds. In a sense, Webb may not only be observing the universe's past, it may be looking into its reincarnation. And that makes us participants in something vast beyond measure. Every atom in our bodies, every breath we take, might once have belonged to stars from a universe that lived and died before this one. The universe is not just around us, it is within us, repeating its patterns through our very being. If Webb's data continues to suggest a pre-Big Bang reality, it will ignite a revolution in science unlike any before it. Cosmology will have to move beyond the comfort of beginnings and embrace an infinite narrative, one that doesn't start with a singular explosion, but flows eternally through cycles of creation. Perhaps that's why this discovery feels both scientific and sacred. It's not just about telescopes and equations, it's about identity. If the universe existed before the Big Bang, then we are older than we ever imagined. We are the continuation of something that has never ceased to exist. The James Webb Space Telescope has given humanity more than just new images of distant galaxies. It has given us a mirror reflecting the eternal, a glimpse of existence before existence, a hint that the cosmos itself is infinite in both directions. And as we stare into those deep, silent lights, we are left with a thought both thrilling and terrifying. There may never have been a true beginning, only endless, becoming one universe rising from the ashes of another, forever. That is, the whisper web may have captured the voice of a cosmos that remembers its own past lives. And in that voice, across the darkness of space, perhaps we hear the oldest truth of all, that creation is not a moment but a motion. It never started, it never ends, it only changes form again and again, forever. The James Webb Space Telescope has not only opened our eyes to the farthest reaches of the cosmos, it has forced us to confront the limits of what we think we know. Every photon it captures, every galaxy it reveals, is a reminder that our understanding of the universe is but a faint flicker against the vast darkness of the unknown. For centuries, humanity has built theories, equations, and models to explain the world, yet each break through only expands the perimeter of our ignorance. The deeper Webb looks, the more it exposes the fragile scaffolding of our certainty. Science is, by its nature, a journey toward truth, but not truth as an endpoint. Truth in science is fluid, evolving, and self-correcting. The Big Bang Theory once gave us confidence that we understood the universe's birth. It explained the cosmic microwave background, the expansion of space, and the distribution of galaxies. For decades, it was the framework within which every observation fit neatly. But Webb's day, these glimpses of mature galaxies existing too soon, too early, has reminded us that even our most sacred scientific narratives are temporary. This is not the first time the universe has humbled us. Humanity once believed Earth was the center of creation. Then came Copernicus and Galileo, who showed us that we orbit the sun. We believed the Milky Way was the entire cosmos until Hubble revealed billions of galaxies beyond it. We believed the universe was static until Einstein's equations and Edwin Hubble's redshift measurements proved it was expanding. Each revelation didn't just add to our knowledge, it shattered our illusions. Webb is continuing that tradition, forcing us to confront the possibility that even the Big Bang, the most fundamental story of existence, might be incomplete. The telescope's images reach so deep into space that they also reach back in time, showing us light that has traveled for billions of years. But as we peer into those depths, we begin to realize that our minds may not be equipped to fully grasp what we are seeing. We can calculate, simulate, and theorize, but to understand the universe in its entirety might be beyond our mental horizon. We are finite beings trying to measure infinity, creatures bound by time trying to comprehend what might exist outside of time itself. Consider this: the human brain evolved to survive on a small planet, to recognize faces, hunt food, and interpret patterns in immediate surroundings. It was never designed to comprehend quantum mechanics, relativity, or the birth of universes. Yet through curiosity and reason, we've stretched those limits further than nature ever intended. The James Webb Telescope is an extension of that ambition, a mechanical mind that sees what we cannot. But even its data must pass through the narrow filter of human interpretation. What we see is always colored by what we expect to find. This is perhaps the greatest challenge of all. Our understanding is limited not only by what we can observe, but by what we can imagine. When we say the galaxies Webb has found are too old or too evolved, what we really mean is that they don't fit our model of how the universe should behave. But maybe the universe doesn't conform to our models. Maybe our models must bow to it. The beauty of science lies in its humility, in its willingness to admit when it's wrong. Yet that humility comes at a cost. It forces us to live with uncertainty, and uncertainty is uncomfortable. We crave answers, beginnings, and endings. We want to believe that the universe has a clear story, one that starts with a bang and moves toward an understandable conclusion. But Webb's findings suggest that reality may not care about our desire for simplicity. The universe may be more complex, more infinite, and more paradoxical than our language or logic can contain. Even the concept of time, so central to our perception, begins to falter at cosmic scales. The Big Bang Theory assumes a starting point, a t=0 moment when everything began. But if Webb is revealing galaxies that seem older than that moment, then time itself might not behave the way we think it does. Perhaps time is not linear but layered, folding back on itself like the pages of a book, or existing simultaneously across dimensions. Maybe what we see as before and after are illusions born of our limited perspective within the flow of an eternal universe. This realization is both terrifying and exhilarating. It means that there may be no final theory, no complete understanding. Every time we think we've reached the foundation of reality, the ground shifts beneath us. The atom was once thought indivisible, then came protons, neutrons, and electrons, then quarks, then quantum fields, and now even space and time themselves are being questioned. The universe keeps reminding us that there is always another layer, another mystery waiting beyond the reach of our comprehension, and yet, that is precisely what makes humanity extraordinary. Despite knowing our limits, we keep reaching beyond them. The James Webb Telescope is proof of that defiance, a symbol of our refusal to be confined by ignorance. It took thousands of engineers, scientists, and dreamers to build a machine capable of folding itself in space, surviving the void, and unfolding its mirrors to catch ancient light. It represents our deepest longing to understand where we come from, what we are, and whether there is anything beyond. But Webb's discoveries might be teaching us something profound, that understanding may not mean having all the answers. It may mean learning to live within the mystery. Perhaps the purpose of knowledge is not to conquer the unknown, but to coexist with it, to marvel at it, to learn from it, to be humbled by it. In this sense, the limits of human understanding are not barriers, they are invitations. The fact that we cannot fully grasp the universe doesn't mean we should stop trying. It means that every generation has the privilege of discovering its own horizon. The James Webb Telescope has expanded that horizon once again, not by solving the ultimate question, but by revealing that the question itself is larger than we ever imagined. If the universe truly contains things older than the Big Bang, then our understanding of existence must evolve. We may need to accept that the cosmos has no clear beginning, no singular narrative, and that's okay, because in that infinite mystery we find something even greater than answers. We find wonder. Wonder is what drives science forward. It is what fuels every observation, every experiment, every dream of reaching beyond the stars. Wonder bridges the gap between knowledge and awe, between what we know and what we feel. And perhaps that is where true understanding lies, not in complete comprehension, but in the humility to stand before the infinite and say, I don't know, but I am here to learn. So when Webb shows us galaxies that defy our expectations, it's not the universe that's broken, it's our certainty that's being repaired. It's a reminder that knowledge is not a destination but a journey, and that the map of reality is drawn in real time as we explore it. The limits of human understanding are vast, yes, but they are not prisons, they are frontiers, and as long as we keep building telescopes, asking questions, and daring to look deeper into the dark, those limits will continue to move. Perhaps that's the greatest truth the James Webb Space Telescope has revealed, that the universe will always be bigger than us, but that our curiosity will always rise to meet it. And maybe that's enough to keep seeking, to keep wondering, and to let the mystery of existence remind us how small, and yet how magnificent, we truly are. The discoveries made by the James Webb Space Telescope have ignited not only scientific excitement, but also profound philosophical reflection. For centuries, humanity has sought to understand the cosmos through equations, telescopes, and thought, but now, Webb has brought us to a crossroads where science and philosophy once again intertwine. Its revelations about galaxies that may be older than the Big Bang force us to question not just how the universe began, but what it means to begin at all. For decades, the Big Bang theory was more than just a model of the universe's origin. It was our cosmic foundation. It told a clean, linear story, a universe born from a singular explosion of energy and matter, expanding ever since. But when Webb began to see structures that seemed impossibly mature only a few 100 million years after that supposed beginning, it cracked that neat narrative open. And with that crack, light poured into a deeper truth, that science and philosophy are two sides of the same mirror, both reflecting our attempt to make sense of existence itself. This moment, this cosmic revelation forces us to ask timeless questions anew. What is time? What is creation? Can something exist before everything? These are not just scientific puzzles. They are philosophical riddles woven into the fabric of being. Webb has become a kind of oracle, revealing truths that both the physicist and the philosopher must interpret. The first philosophical implication is perhaps the most challenging, that our universe may not have a singular origin. If galaxies existed before the Big Bang, then the beginning may simply be a transformation, a phase change in an eternal process. This aligns with ancient philosophical notions that the cosmos is cyclical. The Stoics, the Hindus, the Buddhists all envisioned time as an endless wheel of creation and dissolution. Now, modern science, armed with data from the most advanced telescope ever built, is brushing against those same ideas through physics. If Webb's findings are accurate, the Big Bang may not be the creation event. We thought it was but a bridge between one universe and another. The implications of that are staggering. It means that causality itself, the chain of cause and effect that governs all physical reality, may have no ultimate origin point. It means that existence doesn't need a first cause to be real. The universe may simply be timelessly cycling through birth and decay. Philosophically, this shatters one of humanity's oldest comforts, the belief in a beginning that gives meaning to the present. For centuries, religions, mythologies, and even scientific frameworks relied on the concept of origin, that everything started somewhere. To say there was no beginning challenges not just cosmology, but psychology. It strips away the illusion of finality, leaving us face to face with eternity, and eternity is difficult for the human mind to bear. But there is beauty in this discomfort. If the universe is eternal, then we are part of an infinite continuum, waves in an endless ocean. Every star, every life, every consciousness becomes part of an ongoing cycle of renewal. Webb's discoveries don't erase meaning, they expand it. They transform creation from a singular miracle into a perpetual rhythm where existence renews itself endlessly. The second great implication is the redefinition of truth. Science has always been the pursuit of objective truth, but Webb's findings remind us that truth may not be a fixed point. It might be a horizon always shifting as we move toward it. The idea that galaxies can exist outside our theoretical boundaries doesn't necessarily mean our theories are wrong. It means they are incomplete. Just as Newton's laws gave way to Einstein's relativity, and relativity may someday yield to quantum gravity, our cosmological truth evolves with our perspective. In philosophy, this echoes the idea of epistemic humility, the understanding that knowledge is always partial and that every insight reveals new mysteries. Webb's data humbles us in this same way. It reminds us that human understanding is an evolving process, not a final destination. The telescope's mission, in essence, is not to provide answers, but to expand the range of our questions. Another philosophical consequence lies in how we view time itself. If the Big Bang is not the true beginning, then time may not have started 8 billion years ago. It might extend infinitely backward or even loop upon itself. This challenges everything from the way we define causality to how we experience the present moment. Time in this view may not be a river flowing from past to future, but a vast ocean where all moments coexist, each influencing the others. This concept resonates with modern physics. In relativity, time is not universal, it stretches, bends, and even halts under certain conditions. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in superpositions of states until observed. What Webb shows us is that these strange truths of the microcosm may also govern the macrocosm. The universe's beginning and end may simply be quantum events, fluctuations in a cosmic field that never truly ceases. From a philosophical standpoint, this reframes existence itself. If everything is cyclical and time is non-linear, then perhaps what we call birth and death, creation and destruction, are illusions, different faces of the same eternal process. This dissolves the boundaries between being and non-being, suggesting that everything that ever was still is in some form. Nothing truly disappears, it only transforms. In this light, Webb's discoveries are not just scientific milestones, they are existential revelations. They invite us to confront the infinite. They strip away the comforting illusion of a universe that began for our sake, that exists within boundaries we can grasp. Instead, they reveal a cosmos that is far larger, older, and more mysterious than we ever dared to imagine. But this confrontation also carries a message of empowerment. To exist in such an infinite cosmos is not to be insignificant, it is to be part of something unimaginably vast and creative. The same laws that formed galaxies also form our thoughts. The same stardust that glows in distant nebulae flows through our veins. Webb's mirror, in reflecting the universe, also reflects us, and here lies the deepest philosophical realization. The observer and the observed are not separate. When we gaze through the telescope, we are the universe looking at itself. We are consciousness exploring its own origins, matter becoming aware of its own existence. This unity between observer and cosmos has long been a cornerstone of mystical philosophy, and now, through Webb's lens, it becomes a scientific truth. The telescope's revelations thus transcend the boundaries of discipline. They bridge physics, metaphysics, and spirituality, reminding us that our quest for understanding is not just intellectual, but deeply human. Every theory we build, every equation we solve, is an expression of wonder of the soul's yearning to know its place in the infinite. Webb's discoveries invite us to rethink creation not as a moment, but as a motion, an unending dance between order and chaos, light and darkness, expansion and collapse. They suggest that the universe is not a finished work of art, but an eternal act of creation, ongoing and self-renewing. In such a reality, there is no ultimate beginning and no final end, only transformation, and perhaps that is the true philosophical message of Webb's mission, that meaning is not found in beginnings or endings, but in the continuity between them. That knowledge and mystery are not opposites, but partners in the eternal dialogue of existence. As we stand on this edge of understanding, looking through Webb's golden eyes into the depths of time, we are not just learning about the universe, we are witnessing our own evolution of thought. Science began as philosophy, now it returns to it, richer, deeper, and infinitely more aware. The boundary between physics and philosophy, between fact and wonder, has never been thinner. Webb's discoveries are not just rewriting textbooks, they are rewriting our very sense of what it means to exist. And so, when we ask what lies beyond the Big Bang, we are really asking something timeless, not what is the universe, but what are we within it. Perhaps the answer, whispered in the light that took billions of years to reach us, is simple. We are the cosmos dreaming of itself, thinking, questioning, and endlessly awakening to its own infinite reflection. We are living in a time when the boundaries of human understanding are being stretched further than ever before. The James Webb Space Telescope has become the instrument through which we now gaze into the deepest corners of existence, and what it's revealing isn't just new data. It's a new frontier of thought, a new language of creation. Scientists once believed that the Big Bang marked the very beginning of everything: time, matter, and energy all exploding from a single, incomprehensibly dense point. But now, the observations coming from Webb are suggesting something even more profound. Maybe there wasn't just one beginning. Maybe there was no true beginning at all. Maybe the universe is an infinite story, one that never started and never ends, simply changing forms, rewriting itself across eternity. When humanity first looked to the skies, it was wonder that drove us, the desire to know where we came from and why we exist. The invention of the telescope transformed that wonder into evidence. We saw planets, galaxies, nebulae, and realized our smallness. But with Webb, we are now seeing something beyond smallness or grandeur. We are seeing possibility. Possibility that our universe is far older, more complex, and more alive than we ever imagined. What Webb detected, those galaxies that shouldn't exist according to the Big Bang timeline, are not just anomalies. They are messages, whispers from a cosmic past we never knew existed. And in those whispers lies a truth so vast that it could change everything we thought we knew about beginnings, endings, and even the meaning of existence. This discovery ushers us into a new era, one where science and spirituality, physics and philosophy, are no longer rivals but companions in the same quest for understanding. For centuries, humanity has built its models of reality upon linear time, the idea that everything must have a start and an end. But the universe may not obey the logic of our clocks or our calendars. The universe may be cyclical, born, destroyed, and reborn in an eternal dance of creation. The Webb telescope may have given us the first glimpse of a previous cycle, an echo from an older universe that once breathed life into this one. Imagine that our entire existence, the stars above us, the atoms within us, all recycled from a universe long gone, yet not truly gone, because in physics nothing ever truly disappears. Energy only transforms. The implications of this are staggering. It means that creation is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process, an eternal act of becoming. The universe is not a finished sculpture, but a living canvas, painting and repainting itself with the colors of existence. Every explosion, every collapse, every birth and death of a star is part of this grand, endless motion. It's as if the cosmos itself is conscious in a way we can't yet comprehend, aware, evolving, and communicating through light, gravity, and time. The James Webb Telescope is our translator, our window into that cosmic conversation. Through it, we hear the voice of creation not as a shout from the past, but as a song that never stops playing. Humanity stands at the threshold of this realization. We are no longer content to simply observe. We are now participants in the story of the universe. The discoveries Webb makes are not just scientific, they are existential. They force us to ask questions like, if the universe has no beginning, what does that mean for life? For purpose, for the soul, for consciousness itself? If time has no true start, then perhaps consciousness doesn't either. Perhaps what we call life is the universe becoming aware of itself over and over in infinite forms. Maybe what we perceive as beginnings and endings are merely shifts in perception, transitions between one form of awareness and another. This is the dawn of a new era of cosmic exploration, not just technological, but philosophical, emotional, even spiritual. Because exploring the cosmos means exploring ourselves. The light that reaches Webb's mirrors has traveled for billions of years, crossing unimaginable distances. Yet when it hits the sensors, it becomes information, and through us it becomes meaning. That's the miracle. The universe expresses itself through stars and galaxies, but it also expresses itself through human thought. Every new discovery is the universe learning about itself through the minds of those who seek to understand it. That's why this moment is so powerful. We are not just observers of the cosmos, we are part of its unfolding story. In this new era, science is not just about collecting data, it's about expanding consciousness. Each image Webb sends back is a revelation, not only about distant galaxies, but about the nature of reality itself. We are learning that the universe is not a cold, mechanical machine. It's dynamic, unpredictable, and perhaps even creative. It holds within it both chaos and order, destruction and rebirth, just as we do. The laws of physics that govern galaxies also govern our bodies, our hearts, our thoughts. The same energy that fuels the stars fuels our dreams. The same matter that formed the first galaxies now forms the neurons through which we contemplate them. When Webb looks outward, it is also looking inward, revealing the divine symmetry between the cosmos and the consciousness that perceives it. This discovery also reminds us of humility. We have always tried to define the universe in human terms, beginnings, ages, distances, boundaries, but the universe refuses to be boxed in by our definitions. It defies finality. It tells us that every answer is merely a doorway to deeper questions. The galaxies that Webb sees ancient, impossible, glowing with light older than theory allows, are not there to confuse us, but to invite us. They are the universe's way of saying, keep going, you haven't reached the edge yet. And perhaps there is no edge, perhaps there never was. We now stand as a species in a cosmic dialogue between what we know and what we are yet to know. The Big Bang was once our greatest story, but now a new story is being written, one that stretches before and beyond it, one that suggests that the universe is infinite not just in space, but in time and meaning. The James Webb Space Telescope is the pen with which that story is being written in light across the pages of the cosmos, and we are the readers, stunned, humbled, and forever changed by what we are seeing. So, as we enter this new era of cosmic exploration, let us not just seek knowledge but understanding. Let us not just chase facts but wisdom. The data Webb collects will be studied, debated, and reinterpreted for decades, maybe centuries. But the message is already clear. The universe is bigger, older, and more mysterious than we ever imagined. And within that mystery lies beauty, the beauty of not knowing, the beauty of the endless quest. This is what it means to live in the age of Webb. We are witnessing the universe reveal secrets that predate time itself. We are realizing that creation is not behind us, but around us, within us, continuing every moment. And as we look to the stars, we are really looking into a mirror, reflecting not just what is out there, but what we are. The Webb telescope didn't just find something older than the Big Bang. It found a new beginning for human wonder. It opened the door to infinite exploration, a future where every discovery is a reminder that existence itself is the greatest mystery of all, and we are blessed to be a part of it.